Rod, a disappointing afternoon out of the FA Cup, just a single goal in it against Chatham Town. What are your thoughts after that?
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Chatham. They've come to a tough place here today, but haven't found it as tough as they thought they would find it. But I thought they worked very hard. They could get scored a goal after a little bit of what I thought we had 2 or 3 good chances to go in front. Yet again, bane of my life. But I just said to the boys there, the difference between the two teams was literally commitment levels. I thought they were dogged. They worked the game quite well. Keeper kept dropping, killing time and whatever else. But, we yet again don't defend a situation. I think that was the first time they've been in our half. Pretty much Sunday morning stuff, if I'm being honest. And just thought us today, all round, there's not a player out there that I could pick today, fortunately for us, that was anything above a 5 or a 6. Any of them. Not one of them. There's not one that I could actually say. When you look at last week, we probably could have said some of them were 7, 8s and 9s. And that is the problem. That's the problem I said to us there. We've got some lovely footballers. But today, when you've come up against a team, a little bit glimpses of when we got beat by Chesham, a little bit. Just if we're not able to get it down and pass and players to be on song, we struggle to find another way. As I said, today we could have probably, you just said there before the interview started, we could have probably had 3 or 4 before they scored. I think the big one was when Longy cut in and hit one and it flew past the post. But I mean, even second half, you've had one there. It looked like Birch come up at the back post and hit a strike. And you got to say fair play to Chatham. We've been very poor. I think we gave them a lot of belief to think, hold on a minute, like probably before the game, if we could probably keep this to a certain level, then they'd probably go away with here thinking if they get a draw, it'd be a good draw. And then we've turned up here today, and everything we told these players prior to the game, don't do this, don't do that, make sure you want to, the standards of today is give us a level of performance of work ethic, and we've got to break the back of them to try and compete with that. They haven't done it. We've relied on our ball players and our good footballers to try and open up doors for us today, and every one of them was off song.
The injury list is ever growing. Obviously, that doesn't help. It disrupted things a little bit again. Before half-time, Ben Wells was forced off, and then early in the second half, TJ Bramble, and we can see him, he's in a boot back there. First of all, anything you can tell us about those 2 injuries? And second of all, how frustrating is it that despite everything, we're working so hard here, but the injuries, we're at 7, 8, 9 injuries now, and that, it does make your life difficult.
No, I don't even want to talk about injuries, Ollie, if I'm being honest. I mean, whatever's happened to the boys today, I don't know. I didn't see any real bad injuries out here. I thought Ben Wells come off a little bit soft for me. I thought TJ come off a little bit soft for me, if you want my honest opinion. But I'm not a physio, so I can't, give you any diagnosis of what it is. The other injuries we've had, we didn't have them last week against Torquay. So what's the difference? So I certainly don't want to bring that into an interview, because that just makes us look like that. All right, we've got an escape route, and that's what they've done today. They had an escape route, and rather than like I have to do week in, week out. When you win, it's great to be in front of you. When you lose, you have to put your chest out and still, do an interview, that even if we won 2-0. So, no, I'm not looking at injuries, mate. I'm looking at people with weak mentality. And I just said to them there, listen, be aware that the interview is going to be, we got beat by a team today that had aggression, and especially when they went 1-0 up, just to do the ugly stuff properly. But we were just off it today. We were just nowhere near it. There's some of them players in there. I mean, even with the subs today, what did we get out of them? Nothing really majorly. But I thought just all round the park, individually, we were so basic and poor. And that ain't even because we just didn't pass the ball well. That was just going up against having your individual battles and making things happen for the team. As I just said to them there, I want my strikers to defend from the front, and I want my defenders to start attacks, and that hasn't happened. We let them off early on in the first half. I think it was Charlie Pegram, and there was Longin on the other side. we're allowing balls to be put back down our throats, which all this team done, played up, back through. It just kept turning us. So then all of a sudden we're trying to get back on the ball. I think we didn't get our midfielders in the game at all. I think they were just chasing lost causes. Thought we were too pedestrian in there. And our flair players today just never brought any flair to the game. So, yeah, as I said, you know, when I look back, we haven't played well. And I don't want to take too much away from Chatham, because I think Chatham's come here, and I know, and I said to them there, you have a look at Chatham's bench, they're absolute kids, babies. I don't think we would even be able to put them on the bench, because we wouldn't have a youth set up at the club to do that. And you're looking at what's coming off my bench, looking at the players that we've put on, and, you know, listen, it's just a weak mentality for me. Too many players that haven't produced today. Injuries that probably ain't a lot different to what's the injuries that we've got out there at the minute. They've got the same mentality, and that's the problem we've got here. I think we'll be a good side when we can play, but I think we'll be not the best side when it comes down to just doing the basics and the ugly stuff and the work rate. And my motto is, you have to win the battle before you win the war. And today we never achieved to look like to win the battle. So the result is you don't win the war.
Cheers, Rob.